three, go.
난 부를 거야. 아마 날 부를 거야. 웃고 있는 내 모습은 진짜가 아니야. 한참을 울었어.
Hello, welcome back to the official first episode of the Dippily Dots podcast. Okay. We're gonna be talking about how small steps can change your life. So let's start from why I needed a life change, or just I felt like I needed a reset button. So I feel like for me, when that started, was when this situation still doesn't register in my head, but I had this friend group, and then one of her friends in the group found out I was friends with them. She didn't like me, so over the next 3 years made my life not very good. And surprisingly, the reason why I say surprisingly, like, is because back then, or even like less than like 8 months ago, sorry, I'm like getting emotional. Towards this situation, I felt so strongly. Like, I still feel strongly about this situation, but it's not like, I don't use harsh words anymore. I hope she's doing well, because I know I am. But it's just weird, because she put me in such a bad place, and like now I'm in such a good place because I've taken time, and you know, I've had to heal for like my own sake, and everybody else's, and like, if you really want to live, you have to heal yourself. I think that's the one most important thing, is that you have to do these things if you want to live, if you want to have a happy, comfortable life. And so that I experienced. I had another experience happen, which I still feel uncomfortable talking about, and I'm not gonna put that on the first episode, but maybe down the line I will. So that. So I just feel like I want to talk about like the collection of trauma that kind of resulted into me, needing the life change. And then I kind of didn't heal, or nothing was resolved after that. So I graduated 8th grade, and then I went into high school. A high school that I didn't even want to go to in the first place. Don't get me wrong, the high school's fine for a high school, but it ultimately got worse because I wasn't healing. I eventually went to therapy, but when you have a therapist that on basically the first day she tells you that all your problems are a result of your daddy issues, and obviously you're not gonna get help. So, yeah, that was another interesting time of my life. But now I have a better therapist. Shout out Rachel, love you. But yeah, I was in therapy, and also like, just because a therapist like I feel like you have to get comfortable with a therapist. Sorry, brief interruption. So I had another. So then I'm with my therapist now, and then I don't know. It was just over the course of I had her I want to say I've had my therapist for over 2 years. So, like, I just felt like over the course of those 2 years, like, she was a great therapist. I'm doing great, but like also my environment's like not changing. Like, even though I got out of a bad friend group, I'm semi over all the things that happened to me in middle school, and the trauma from that one friendship. I ended up in another toxic friendship, and having to support my other friends' emotions and what they were going through, because, of course, uh, we live in a world where nothing's on a pause button. Like, there's no pause, and they have stuff happening in their lives, and you have to support them, and you have to act like, oh, like you have nothing, and like not that you have nothing, that you don't have any problems, and you want to be there for them, but also like you're like struggling. You're really struggling. And in the midst of that, I just felt like wow, like I'm not doing good in school. I am an okay person, but I think the most thing that I realized was like I'm depressed. Like I and like even when I would go to school, like that would be barely. Like I remember I didn't go to school for like 5 months, or I didn't go to school like at all. And obviously that was affecting my grades, that was affecting my friend, and then like when they would see me they'd be like, oh, like you're here, or like even like kids that like I barely even talk to, they would be like, oh, it's like your once a month reminder that you're here, or like it was just always very awkward, and like teachers probably hated me. Thing is, I now understand why teachers hated me. Either way, I was very depressed and not in a good state. And then I don't know why I feel like skimming over this part because like it's so sad. And then I mean just like the sad parts, like it's sad. Long story short, I had one of my first suicide attempts. I was home alone, and I took a full bottle of Tylenol and just laid in my bed, and then woke up. I think I woke up, or yeah, no, I woke up like my mom said it like it was on a school weekend, and like my mom, she woke me up, and she was like, Leslie, like you didn't even like wake up. And then I was like, Mom, I think I actually need to see a doctor. And then she took me to a doctor, and then my mom left the room, so I explained to the doctor what I did. And then because I think that for like even the fact that like I was 16 at the time, 15, 16 at the time. So like even being that young and not wanting to live is scary, and but that's what I felt at the time. And so I went to the doctor. I was brave enough to go to the doctor or even say anything to my parents or to my mom specifically. And then I got medication. Obviously I took it like the day after. Taking that, then oh yeah, and then I remember I started becoming friends with my old friends again. I never thought would happen. Like I seriously never ever thought that I'd become friends with them, and which to whatever universe set that up, thank you. Cuz I genuinely love those two girls with like my whole heart and everything in me. And now we're the best of friends. And I just can't believe that we're actually also friends. Anyway, so I started becoming friends with them again, and then I was also very nervous and very self-conscious about taking medication. First of all, you should not be, because it's for your betterment. It's for the better. It's helping you. like a lot of people, like, yes, I understand that, you know, if there is something that's going to help better you, why not do it? So that is the reason why I take medicine for my depression and anxiety. Not saying that it's completely gone, because it's not a magic pill. It's not, but it helps, and it will help in the long run. And I think it's generally helped. Like, there's some recent situations where I feel like if I would not have taken that medicine, I probably would have acted completely differently towards those situations. And even if you don't see the improvement, somebody will, and sooner or later you will. So, all in all, it took that situation for me to really change, and one thing I wanted to change was schools. Um, and so I did, and now I'm at the school where I'm at now, and it's genuinely changed everything. Like, I mean everything. Like, now I actually have good grades for the first time in my life, and even how do I say this? There's even a part where I can go on trips. So this year, in like the last 8 months, I've been to California and 3 countries in Europe. I've been to Paris, Germany, and London. And yeah, if you guys would like me to talk about those experiences, I would love to talk about it. But I think my favorite trip was to California. I'm like that will even though I went to like London and all those other places, like California was my all-time favorite. Like, moral of the story, and I know that I talk very confusing, and I just realized while editing all these clips that I have a lisp, but either way, is that make the change, please. For I think it's just for the better, and also just see like how far you can achieve, and also I think it also builds self-confidence. And like I also have a dream of publishing a book, and I think what I really want to do in life is write books. In my time of healing, I've kind of come back to my love for books, and I wrote a small kind of collection of poetry that is based off of things that I would leave in my notes, and then I contacted the publisher. I like wrote the idea I had down, and then they contacted me pretty quickly, and so I have that in the works. So my first published book is coming soon, and I think just advocate for yourself. Like, if you're in a job and you want a higher pay, maybe your boss is like, oh, I really want to give this person a raise, but I like I don't know. Like, maybe they're not scared, but like they want to give it to you, but like you're not saying anything, and maybe you really need the money. Maybe you've been wanting to ask, and you just really gotta advocate for yourself. And like I have this one friend that every time I say like you gotta advocate for yourself, and she tells me no, not today, but tomorrow. No, today. Today is the day that you advocate for yourself. That being said, I think I'm gonna start wrapping this up. So I'm just gonna kind of do like, also like, I feel like this whole episode was kind of depressing, so we're gonna lighten it up. I'm going to give me a minute. And another thing, I've been listening to a lot of music lately, which is surprising. So I'm gonna give you some of the top artists that I've been listening to. First one's obvious. It's Miss Gracie Abrams. Yeah. More obvious, Taylor Swift. Styles too. Storyline, plot, and the man is fine. I'm gonna end this with talking about some things that I've been interested in lately. Cottage cheese. It's delicious. It tastes fine on its own, but if you put a little bit of mustard and everything bagel seasoning, and you like dip it in whatever, delish. What other interests have I had lately? Um, hmm. Oh, like cargo shorts. I like never wear shorts unless it's around the house or like I've played a sport. Been loving those. Other than that, books, of course. I say books, but then like I haven't been reading that much. Very honorable mention. Willow Avalon, love. Also, I feel like I've been in my country era, like, and like I bought new bed sheets that like, no, not bed sheets, like the top comforter, and it looks like eco-friendly, like country. You know. Those things being said, I think my job is done here. So yeah, stay barbalicious and love y'all.